everyone, and welcome to another episode of the McJo Show, also known as Get Your Cook On with Teresa and Scott. It's a Scott solo bake today. Teresa is upstairs doing some DIY. We're reshelving a laundry cupboard just to give a bit more space. So this one's all on me. This is an item I've been wanting to make for a wee while. It's something that has been requested by a good friend of mine, a little Portuguese gentleman by the name of Sergio Rodrigues Domingos Braz. This is Pastéis de Nata, or what you're more likely to know as Portuguese egg tarts. Okay, so we've got two stages to this recipe. The first one is the puff pastry. So this is the ingredients for the puff pastry. Simple ingredient wise, a little bit complex process wise, but if you follow the steps it should be really straightforward. We've got butter, unsalted, a little bit of water, a little bit of salt, and some plain flour. Okay, so I've just softened my butter off a little bit. I'm now going to whisk it with a hand mixer, and we're aiming for a consistency a bit like sour cream. There we go. So next stage I'm going to start pulling the dough together. Pop your flour, your salt, and your water straight into the bowl of your stand mixer with a dough hook attachment. And you're looking to mix that on a low setting just until it starts to come together into a dough with a bit of a tacky consistency. You might find you need to knock it down from the sides a few times while you're doing that. So that's the dough formed. As you can see, it's just dropping off the hook itself. And I'm about to start the first roll. Okay, so here's the dough. I'm just going to pop it onto the floured surface. Make sure your surface is well floured, and make sure your rolling pin is well floured as well. This is a pretty sticky dough, so that will just help minimise sticking. It's still going to stick, but it will help minimise as much sticking as possible. Now before you start rolling, if you shape it into a bit of a rectangle, then that should in theory keep everything square while you're rolling. So it's about 1 inch thick at the moment. I want to be rolling it down to about 1/2 inch thickness. And now I'm just going to cover that with cling film and let it rest for 15 minutes. Okay, so that's me just taking the cling film off. So it's 15-minute rest. I'm now going to roll it out into about a 15-inch square. Okay, I'm now going to take our butter. I want to use about 1/3 of that at this stage. Spreading it over the bottom half, leaving about 1 inch from the edge all the way around so you can seal it. This is obviously what creates the layers in puff pastry, the fat in between the dough. Now, you take that top half and just fold it over. It's really sticky, as you can see. Seal the edges, that just stops the butter leaking out. I'm going to repeat that process with another 1/3 of the butter. Now this is the stage where I want to be rolling it out so that it's longer than it is wide, about 18 inches long. See, unfortunately the butter is starting to break through. I maybe should have chilled in the fridge between these stages. It's a little bit disappointing. Hopefully it won't affect the end result. Right, I'm now going to put the remaining butter on. This time you're spreading the whole length, but again you're leaving that gap around the edge. I know it's not a great rectangular shape, I do apologise. I'm not a professional pastry chef by any stretch of the imagination. And now, what we're going to do here is roll it in on itself. tight a roll as you can manage. Okay, so this now needs to fire up before you can really work with it. So this is the stage where you wrap it in cling film and pop it in the fridge for a minimum of 2 hours, overnight if you have the ability to do that, and then we can get on to making the filling. So the puff pastry is in the fridge, cooling. It's been in there for about 4 hours now. I think I said earlier 2 hours minimum, overnight ideally. I'm going to go with about 4 or so. So it's time to make the filling. So we've got flour, plain flour, ground cinnamon and a cinnamon stick. We've got 2 lots of milk. You'll find out later why there's 2 lots. Granulated sugar, 6 egg yolks and some water. I don't know if you can hear the oven preheating in the background, but a few recipes I've found for this with varying oven temperatures on them. And rather worryingly, they range between about 260 degrees and 290 degrees Celsius, which is very hot. Our oven only goes to 230, which I think most domestic ovens will only go to about 230, 240 max. So that may impact later on, we will find out. So the first stage in making the filling, I'm going to combine the water, the sugar and the cinnamon stick in a pan, bring it to the boil, cook it for about 1 minute, and that will just start with making the syrup. Okay, so that's been boiling for a minute. Take it off the heat, put it to one side, and leave your cinnamon stick in it to infuse. Right, so before you progress with making any more of the filling, this is the puff pastry out of the freezer now, out of the fridge, sorry. I'm going to pop it in the tart cases just so that they can get a chance to cool down again once you've moulded them into shape. So the first thing you want to do is just take a bit off each end. That's where you sealed it, so there's effectively no butter in that bit. So you don't want that. And then you're looking to cut the remaining into slices about 1/2 inch. So what's that, about 1 centimetre? Okay, so once you've cut up the puff pastry, pop it into your tart moulds. Push them out with your thumbs. You want to go in face down so the circular pattern is facing up the way. Push them in with your thumbs and take them up the side of the mould. I'm just going to put them to chill now for 10 minutes or so, just so the butter cools down again. Obviously working it with the hands and having it out in room temperature, it has gone a bit soft again. You want them to be nice and firm, so they're going to go in the chiller for 10 minutes just while I make the rest of the filling. Okay, so the milk's almost at the boil. Just in preparation for that, take your flour, pop it into the bowl, take your remaining milk, it's about 5 tablespoons, and just form that into a bit of a paste. So that's the milk just starting to boil no more. Take it over to your bowl with your flour and milk mixture and just slowly add a steady stream into that and mix it all through. Once that's all combined, get your syrup that we put aside earlier. We've taken the cinnamon stick out of that, and again just slowly add that in. And now take that pad of the bowl back to your hob, pop that mixture back in the pan, bring up the heat, and you're looking to be whisking that for about 8 to 12 minutes. See you later. So I've been whisking this for about 10 minutes now. You can see it has thickened up. Just going to add the eggs in now. So that's the 6 egg yolks. You pop them all in at once if they want to go in. And just combine. You can see that colour's changed almost instantly. As I say, I've been whisking for 10 minutes, so they shouldn't be lumpy, but always best just to run it through a sieve anyway. Okay, so that's all sieved through. Now it's time to take your cases back out of the chiller and just fill them with the custard. They look really rustic, I know they do. We'll see how they come out. Everyone I've ever had always looks quite rustic anyway, so hopefully that's a good sign. Right, just going to pop these in the oven now. The recipes I've seen suggest about 20 minutes. But that is an oven temperature that's unachievable for me, so maybe give it 25. You're just waiting until they start to go brown around the edges and slightly blackened on the top. Right, so that's 23 minutes they've had in the oven. They've gone dark on top, as we're looking for. Just going to take them out now, and then they go on to cooling racks in their pans for 5 minutes, and then you can turn them out. Okay, so hope everyone enjoyed watching that. For some reason I lost the video that I recorded at the end of it showing me eating one, and they've now all been eaten and it's edit time, so just pop this little bit in with a picture of them. They were lovely, they were tasty. Hope you enjoyed it. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Thanks everyone, bye. Yeah! Okay, so we've got 2 stages of this ingredient. Nah. Okay, so that's our 15-minute resting time over there. Just take the cling film off. Don't want to show this bit. What happens here? Didn't say anything about oil cling film, did it? While I was doing that, the only thing that was constantly going through my head was people always say, why would you make puff pastry? Just buy it, it's good from the shops, it's so much easier. And having done that, I've got to say I'm 100% in agreement with that. We'll see how it goes.